Um, I would have to say, I don't know, just my teammates were putting me in good positions to score the basketball. I think I wouldn't have been able to got going like I did without those guys putting me in positions to shoot the ball and score the basketball.
Those last two seemed like shots that go in when you're having the sort of night you just had. Did you sort of feel different in that second half, I guess, where, as people say, sometimes the basket looks a little bigger on special nights?
To be honest, I didn't think I felt any different tonight. I honestly felt better. I thought I was, getting in the flow of things more offensively and defensively, knowing what's going on. I think that was key tonight, and playing against Marcus Carr, how good he is, and Gabe Kalsher, how good he can shoot the ball. I thought we were locked in and keyed in defensively on those guys, and it helped us get the win tonight.
How do you explain just the pretty dramatic turnaround offensively between the first half and the second half for your whole team?
We just started making shots. We started getting really good looks, and shots were going in for us.
That simple. Wow.
Yeah, I thought our execution could have been better in the first half, but we kind of tightened those things up. So when all five of us are on one page, on the same one, we get good shots, and that's what we did in the second half.
Right. You kind of have a pattern about your season here where you have a big game, you kind of have a quiet game, and almost every time after a quiet game, you come back with a big game. Can you kind of explain that at all? You know what I mean?
It's probably the most frustrating thing to me. How bad I want to be good and how bad I want to help this team win and be consistent on a nightly basis. That's probably one of the things that I'm working on the most is being consistent in all areas every night.
Yeah. How did you kind of weather that, I guess, storm there early on, where they kind of shot way above their percentages there for the first few minutes of the game? Was that any kind of mental challenge for you guys that they were shooting way better than their percentages kind of said they were? It seemed like they were having one of those nights.
Yeah, I think a couple of us kind of got a little down on ourselves when you see those kind of shots go in from players you don't expect it to. But Coach Payne did a really good job talking to us and telling us, not to worry about that and just stay with the game plan and stay with the way we were guarding them, and we did. And that ended up working for us at the end of the game.
Did you kind of have to figure in the moment, hey, this can't last?
Yeah,
Anything like that?
yeah. It was a long game, and like I said, we just continued to stick with the game plan, continue to stick with what our coaches were telling us to do on the defensive end, and we were able to come up with the win.
I'm good. Thank you, Brandon.
Mike Carmen.
Yeah, Brandon, how much did Mason's three there to start the second half kind of, whether it was the psychological open up things from the three-point line because you guys had struggled, against Michigan and in the first half tonight?
Yeah, was that the play? He got 2 threes in one possession, or am I thinking of another one?
I think you're thinking of another one, but this was like in the first minute of the second half.
But no, it was huge for us. I think it was a kickstart for not only our offense but also our defense. I think when we make shots and we execute and we get good shots, it sets our defense and we're able to, have all 5 guys back and be ready to guard.
I mean, you guys have found yourself in double-digit deficits most of the Big Ten season. Why are you guys able to pull yourself out of it in most of these games?
It's a game of runs. We know that we're gonna have a run and they're gonna have a run. It's just all about weathering the storm and staying together in those tough moments and just keep relying on each other and keep trusting each other. And we know what we're all capable of doing on the defensive end and offensively. So when teams go on those runs like that, we try to do our best to stay calm.
How big was Eric's defense on Marcus Carr, and how much did that filter through the rest of the defense to maybe pick up the intensity?
It was huge, man. It was a huge part of why we won tonight, and it was just contagious. His energy and the way he just hawked him, the whole time. It was contagious, and we just kind of followed his lead in that department.
Brian asked you about the up and down type of games. Are you looking at doing anything different between games to help yourself reach that consistency, or are you staying in the same routine?
Just keep staying in the same routine. Whether I have a good game or not, just keep doing the same things every day. Coming in, getting shots, getting shots afterwards, watching a lot of film, things like that. Just continue to stay locked in, and just when you've done everything you can up to the point, you can kind of live with the result a little bit.